Hey, besties, it's your girl, Desiree.
And it's your girl, Maya, and welcome back to season 2 of the BeyHive Podcast. Yay!
There has been so much that we've been wanting to talk to you about since the last time you've seen us.
Let's get
What are we
into
gonna do
it.
first?
It's been some time. I guess, you know, life happens, been so much going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to in these past few months since we last recorded?
Few months. It's been like several months, girl. Oh my gosh. Or I'm gonna do like the big significant things that's happened in my life. So I got into a car accident, but luckily nobody got hurt, like seriously hurt. And then I ended up getting a new car, which it's like one of my goals that I've been really wanting to get a new car because I was just cruising in my little Toyota Corolla 09. We miss her dearly, but she had to go. I told myself, I'm going to ride this thing until the wheels fell off, and they did. So I got a new car that I've been having my eye on, so I was really happy about that.
Okay.
I finally did that for myself. I tried dating again. I don't know. That was rough.
Well, how long was that like little period of you dating?
After it was like late September till December. Until early December. It's so funny because I remember the last like little fling I had. It actually ended on my mom's birthday, and I was like, "Oh wow, would you look at that?" But yeah, I don't know. It was just like. I did learn though to just trust your gut and instincts. Like when you feel like something's off, or it's like it's not working, like it's okay. Like you tried it didn't work. You don't need to like prolong it. And I feel like that's what I did. I'm like, well, let me just see. And then it didn't work out. But I'm like, it wasn't meant to be, and that's okay.
Yeah, maybe it happens.
It'll happen. It's supposed to happen. But another year, me, myself, and I, just once again, I'm back here. But yeah, and then my birthday was last month. I turned 27.
Okay.
I feel like each year I'm just more grown.
27 sounds so grown.
It's late 20. I'm in my
20s. That's like 27 is like supposed to be when your solar return happens.
Really? What does that mean?
It's like not to get like all into astrology, but it's like the period where like just it's supposed to be a very dramatic point in your life. Like there's like overall like a big stretch of growth that happens. Do you feel like that?
Yes, I actually do because January just so happened to be my birthday month, but like it's a long month, like especially out here in LA, so like the fires and everything. Luckily, I wasn't like personally impacted, but like I did know a few people who like their house burnt down and they had like to start over and everything.
Man.
So that was really sad to hear. But yeah, I feel like 27. I do feel a difference, like a shift in me. I feel like I've been more proactive, like with my goals.
Okay.
So far, I know we're like only 2 months into the year, but I'm like, this is a good start. A little bumps in the road, but I'm like, trying to be consistent more. We restarted the podcast, so that was like I feel like good motivation to like get out like my bubble, and like be more consistent with things.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I'm just like I'm really trying to focus more like on my financial goals too. Like I want to get my own place soon, travel more, just be more financially stable and responsible, which is why I don't have a Beyoncé ticket because we'll get into that later. But
right.
Beyoncé, I got some things to say to you because them big, the prices, girl.
It's Ticketmaster too.
Ticketmaster.
They know what they're doing.
Who do I need to talk to at Ticketmaster? Because why would y'all do that?
Man. But we'll get into it.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. And being an auntie, otherwise.
Yeah. For sure. A fun tea. Yeah, no. Dang, I feel like so much has happened for me. Even just overall 2024 was just like a crazy ass year. I think like the big thing with like taking a backspace on the podcast was like my dad dying. And it's crazy because I feel like when you lose a parent, you really get this like almost like cynical kind of sense of humor because and I think I've like made peace with it, so it's easy for me to like talk about it and stuff. But the other day I was thinking like, you know, I also love Megan Thee Stallion, and I'm like, dang, the one time that I had to see her in concert was like the same day as my dad's funeral, and I'm like, why would he do that to me?
No.
But yeah, no, I'm like, I think I've just, you know, been going through that, getting adjusted and trying to learn to like still like, you know, live my life. And it's like a huge thing, like that's so crazy, but I feel like just who he was as a person and his energy, he would want me to like keep moving forward. So yeah, that was probably like one of the biggest things, but also just starting a new job too, which I feel like has just helped me learn a lot and kind of like jump started you know, like a lot of like my ideas and stuff for bringing the podcast back.
Good job.
Yes, that part too, with some insurance and health coverage.
You know, I didn't know
that
how
part
that was until like when you're an adult, and I'm like, oh, because they really do cut you off at 26.
Man, no, seriously. And that was the thing too. It's like it happened like right on time. Because I think I started like in June, and then I got kicked off my mom's insurance in August.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it like lined up nicely. But yeah, I love it. I feel like I'm like working in like the creative space. I'm doing something that like I actually went to school for. So that has been good. I try to keep telling myself that when it gets so busy, because I feel like there's some days where it's like I worked way too much today. Like it should not have worked that long. But yeah, my little sister had a baby, so I've been a big auntie as well.
And your niece is a Leo like you.
Yeah, she was born 3 days before my birthday, so now we share a birthday. And she's just so cute. She's only 6 months now, but I feel like she has so much personality already, and she can't even like talk. She's just always smiling and laughing. Like she has good energy, so I can't wait to see like what our relationship's gonna be like as she grows up too. It should be interesting. But yeah, now I'm just trying to get back into like the creative space. I'm excited to be back here again.
Yes.
And hopefully see Beyoncé soon on this tour.
We're hoping, y'all. Stay free. Watching this. Because we would like a deal. Something. We'll do it.
Man, I honestly like didn't, and because again, same with me too, also trying to like be better financially, trying to move into my own space. I didn't even attempt to try to get these tickets because I was just like, I know it's going to be expensive. And then all the stuff I was seeing online with how like, I guess like whatever the first pre-sale was, people were like,
I was on that one.
Yeah, the prices were like so high. And then I guess when the Verizon one happened, a lot of people were saying they were a lot more reasonable. So I guess it was some kind of like dynamic information. Basically, Ticketmaster thought, okay, the people that sign up for the first pre-sale are going to buy these tickets no matter what.
I did not. No, I tried mine because I tried, but then it kept kicking me out. And then I didn't get it. And I'm like, you know what? It just wasn't meant to be. And then Verizon, like I don't have Verizon or Citibank. So I was like, you know what? I guess it just didn't work out this time.
Yeah. But you know, we might be able to run into some resale tickets, but I do get nervous that she's not going everywhere this time. So I'm like, ooh, that makes it more of a competition. Like last year, for example, I think she did have a show in the Bay Area, and then she had shows in LA. And
in California, she only having in LA. Oh
yeah.
My God, we're gonna be fighting
so,
everybody.
It's literally
to get in that
a war out here trying to get these tickets.
All the BeyHives going on.
Man, but I feel like just this album has grown so much on me, especially just like what it means to me too and the history of it.
Yeah. More and more, like still learning about it.
Yeah, no, seriously. I will say it was like hearing it at first, it wasn't really like my most favorite, but I've grown to really, really love it and appreciate it. And then I think just musically, this is probably like one of her best albums too, as far as like what she was able to do, like technical wise, and her abilities. And we've heard some things from her that she hasn't like done before. Yeah,
rap, a little that. I love it.
Man, so tour I don't know about, but how did you feel about her like getting her flowers at the Grammys though?
Oh my God. Okay, I was just as shocked as she was when she won Best Country Album. I'm not gonna lie, I had a same reaction. I said, wait, did they really say Beyonce? Are you sure? Like,
right.
Wait, y'all really like woke up today and like really decided to give her flowers? Because I thought they were gonna snub her once again. I was just waiting for them to like say who the winner was, and I'm like, okay. They said Cowboy Carter. I said,
right. That surprised me so much. I like literally watching it. I went into it without high hopes. Yeah, I was like, the fact that she didn't get any nominations, like not one single nomination at the CMAs, was egregious.
Yeah, they didn't even like acknowledge Cowboy Carter in any type of way.
She didn't have any nominations at all. So then it was like, when it got to the country category, I was like, okay, like we'll see. Which I feel like that was probably the one she was most proud of too, was winning the country album of the year.
And she was very shocked herself.
Yeah.
She was like, I was not expecting it. Like she kept saying that. And I feel like you could tell genuinely she was like, like even Jay-Z in the back was like, wow.
Yeah. Everyone's reaction, and it even like did something to me. It gives me the chills now, like thinking of the video and like when she won album of the year, and how even like all of her peers around her, everybody stood up.
I was going to ask you about like, how did you feel like when she won album of the year?
That even caught me off guard too. I was like, wow, they finally gave it to her. I was watching, I was at Steve's watching the Grammys, and he was like in his own world. And I remember like sitting up from the couch like, they finally gave it to her. And I was just all in his ear. I was like, she deserved that. She deserved that. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I was telling some people and they're like, oh, cool. And I'm like, you don't understand the significance of this. Like, Beyonce has never won album of the year. And when I told people that, they're like, wait, what? She hasn't?
Yeah,
I'm like, no, she's never in her 5 plus years of her career. It's never happened.
Man.
So like, it was finally y'all decided to actually give people like, give the rightfully, what do you like? I don't know what you're gonna say. Like, I don't know. I feel like this year the Grammys really gave the award to like. I'm like, okay, like I feel like they deserve that.
Like people that deserve it.
Kendrick when he won, Doechii. I don't want to get too much off topic, but I'm like, okay, like this is the actually only Grammys I've watched like from beginning to end in a really long time. Like, honestly, maybe like since high school, which is like almost a decade ago for me now. But yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, nice. I'm looking forward to like this new era of her, of Cowboy Carter.
Yeah,
seeing what it's gonna be like.
I can't wait to see like what the vibes are gonna be like for. I just seen she has like another perfume rolling out too.
I just see that too. And it's gold. So it makes me think, okay, you know how with Renaissance it was silver?
Yeah.
I guess like I feel like this new era with Cowboy Carter now it's gonna be all about gold. Which I'm a gold girly, so I'm like, okay, good, because I only get silver Beyonce for you. Like I don't even wear silver.
Yeah. And
usually.
That's something that's gonna be interesting too, just because especially coming from like a marketing background, like when Renaissance started and that tour kicked off and everybody got to see like what the vibes were and things like that, companies really took that and ran with it. Like there was so much silver stuff. There was cowboy boots, cowboy hats everywhere. Like the mute challenge was a big thing. Even like thinking social media, it was like the cuff it challenge. We got the cuff it better or cuff it wetter remix. So I'm like,
I love that one.
Whenever she like goes on tour, it's like it really affects like the atmosphere like on social media and honestly just in general. It does. So I'm like, oh, what are the vibes going to be like this time?
I guess it's gold now. I'm sorry, when Beyonce came out with the new perfume, I said, Beyonce, I can't even afford these tickets. What the hell? You think I'm gonna buy a perfume right now? Like, no, Beyonce, I don't got the money for it right now. But actually, I did smell the perfume she came out with for Renaissance with Say Noir, because they had like little testers or little samples at the Renaissance tour, or at least the one. I don't know if it was like every single stop, but the one in LA. Either for her birthday or the September 2nd show. I forgot which one it was. But they're passing out like little like sprays of it, and it smelled really good. So I'm looking for that, like, oh, this smells really nice, but the price. But she says, I don't argue with these lazy, I just raise my price. And I'm like, she sure does, because I can't keep up with Beyonce prices. But no, I feel like it's gonna smell really good.
Yeah, we'll see. I definitely want to get into it. I still haven't even tried Sir Davis, which is surprising because I do like whiskey.
Ooh, you gotta go to Fixins. They have it.
Oh yes.
And they have like the little I went from one of, oh my gosh, I went with or for one of my friend's birthdays, and we went to Fixins, and they have like different cocktails, and I love the names of it because it's like her. They're named after her song. So like there's Survivor.
That's cute.
Is there a Cowboy Carter one? Some other ones. And I'm like, she had to come out like a Drunken Love one. I was surprised I didn't see that on the menu.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Drunken Love, Crazy Love. I think they have a Crazy Love one. But it was really good.
Dang, I might have to go to Fixins tonight.
Fixins is good.
Man, but okay, with this like new like Cowboy Carter era and stuff like that, just bringing it up because I feel like when we started the podcast last year, like we were heavy in like our Renaissance era, and even with just like our personal lives, I felt like when Renaissance was out, like we were outside. We were outside, and Renaissance gave that, she even said like Renaissance, she ended up, because Cowboy Carter was supposed to come out first, but she said that she felt like we were in a time where we just needed to dance. It was after the pandemic and stuff, so it was like, it gave that energy, and I remember being outside and like hearing the like DJs play the song, and
I still remember the first time we heard Break My Soul.
Yes.
Where was that at? What's it called, the Resident, or somewhere in the art district?
It was like, was it like a day party?
I think it was more a night party. I think that night I was feeling really good. No, actually I'm getting like some nights mixed up, but I do remember like just the first time hearing something off of Renaissance. No, I think she had only dropped Break My Soul, and she hadn't dropped Renaissance yet.
Okay.
And it came on at the club, and I said, oh my gosh. And I even knew like right then, like, oh my God, this is gonna be like a memory I'm like forever hold.
Yeah.
Now it was like so significant, because I'm like, wow, first time like hearing Renaissance or something off of Renaissance in the club, and I'm like, wow.
Even just the vibes of like Break My Soul, like the you said you outside, but you ain't that outside. And that was really the energy that we were on too.
I'm outside.
Yes, no, that was really an era.
This came out in 2022, right?
Oh,
okay, yes.
That was that was really the year we were outside a lot, especially summertime in LA. We were both like in our single girl era, like.
I was in my red era.
Stuff out. It was a time, but okay, so now which is like crazy to say because now we're like 26, 27, and even though
when Renaissance dropped,
man, it's been like a few years, and I'm just wondering, like, okay, what does like this era for us look like? It could be like personally, or even like with the podcast, like I guess in a way like our Cowboy Carter era.
Yeah, I don't like using era. What I feel like for the podcast, I feel like the era we're in for our podcast is showing what it looks like to be inspired by Beyonce. Because like obviously this podcast is called the BeyHive Podcast, and I just love talking about Beyonce. I could talk about her forever and ever, like all that stuff. But I feel like through that it would like through like talking about Beyonce, like even with our conversations off camera, like they always circle back to like where we are and like our personal lives. So I feel like for the podcast, like we want to show that more to you guys, like who we are more. Like we're not just like Beyonce fans, you know, but like, you know, aunties and you know, everything, and there's other aspects of us, you know. I feel like it'd be really nice to showcase that, and I feel like it all just like goes back to, or just all ties together, because I feel like once you guys get to know us more, you're like, okay, it makes sense why these girls are like Beyonce fans, or like inspired by her and who they are and why they are who they are. Oh, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Why they are.
That makes sense, because I definitely meet people that are like, I don't like Beyonce. And then it's like, I look at you. It's one thing like to say, oh, I'm not the biggest fan, especially as a Black person.
But we don't say you don't like Beyonce. I'm like,
to say you don't like her, it's kind of crazy.
You're crazy.
It makes me think like, okay, I get a sense of the person that you are.
You know that, okay. Sometimes you can tell who a person is, or like maybe a little bit about them, if they say like who their favorite artist is. I'll be honest, when a guy says he likes, no, let me not mention people, because I don't want to.
You can say it.
Because I don't want to tear down anyone. You know, okay, Chris Brown. If you're a man and your favorite artist is Chris Brown, you know, I don't know Chris Brown personally, but just what I've seen in the media and everything, and then every time I meet a guy who that's his favorite artist, it just
says something about them.
He's not it for me. Like, we don't have much in common. Him, and I know you love him, but Kanye, it's when a guy says his favorite artist is Kanye, I kind of look at him like, oh.
Yeah, no. I think it's such a struggle being a Kanye fan.
I know, y'all fight for your lives.
Because he literally is like, especially, because, okay, I think when it comes to Kanye, I feel like it's like this underlying thing, like, we really have to separate the art from the artist. And I hate to say it.
But
it's just like,
stuff.
he's so freaking talented, and I do give him credit where it's due when it comes to like setting trends and like musical stuff. Like, he's on his shit when it comes to that. Now his personal life, I really can't speak to it, because everyone's opinion about it, it's like, it makes sense. Like, very problematic. I don't want to get too deep into it, but like, there's a lot of stuff that he does personally that I don't agree with. But it's just, I'm such like a lover of like music and like the technical things and like the production and stuff. It's so hard for me to just totally write off Kanye. But I get where you're coming from. Definitely get where you're coming from. Especially with the men. Yeah,
like, because I'm not trying to say or like bash these artists or say that they're not talented, because I think Kanye, like, I'm gonna give it to him, like, give like where credit is due. Like, he's talented. I'm not like trying to take that away from him. So is Chris Brown. He's very talented.
It's just the fans
I just noticed, and I'm pretty sure people will say that about the BeyHive. Like, oh, them crazy. You say one thing bad about Beyonce, and I will come for you, and I'm not ashamed about it.
Definitely,
I'm not. I will go down a list of her achievements, and then ask, you know, who's your favorite artist and what have they accomplished? Have they won those Grammys? No, they haven't.
Man. No, for real.
There's nothing to argue about. There's nothing to argue about. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just give where credit is due. I understand, like, okay, Beyonce may not be everyone's cup of tea, but like, this is an artist I've just loved my whole life.
Yeah, she definitely is someone that deserves all the hype that's around her.
And she works very hard. I feel like you just, because I think about it, she's been doing this as a child. Like, think of something you did as a child, and like, think about like still doing, and then doing not just in your 20s, but also your 30s, your 40s.
Exactly. And that's exactly why she is who she is. Like, I understand why the BeyHive like stands 10 toes down behind her. Right. She deserves it.
Plus some more, because I just think, like, I understand if she's not your cup of tea, but like, you can't take away her work ethic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I just feel like any like person she's worked with, anytime they're asked about her, like that's like the number one thing they say about her is like her work ethic is unmatched. Like she is the first person there, last one to leave, you know. And she's involved in everything. I mean, if you go watch if she ever puts the Renaissance film on streaming, hopefully,
right, somebody needs to pick it up.
Right, or any of her documentaries where she's showcasing like not the behind the stage, but the setup for it, like the rehearsal, like she's like, I need these lights right here, the smoke, I need this camera, like she knows everything where everything should be. And I think, okay, so going back to like someone's favorite artist can tell you about them, I even noticed that in my personal life, like I like to pay attention to like detail, and even my job told me that, like, oh, Jess, are you like you see things like not everyone sees, like, or like I didn't even think about that, and I'm like, I kind of think it does have something to do with like it has something to do with always looking up to Beyonce, you know, and like trying to take that into my personal life, or when I first started my like first podcast, like I was like, I'm going to learn how to video edit, I'm going to learn how to like set up a camera, I'm going to learn like all these different things, like trying to do it by myself. And then I realized like, okay, if I want to start this again, I know I need a team behind me, because I thought to myself like, okay, like what would Beyonce do? And I noticed that like she even said that like she had like a strong and loving like support system behind her, like with her family at first, and then like a team, like it takes a team to like make a Beyonce, you know? And I don't think she shies away from that, because in one interview or like documentary, she's like, I know I don't just need myself, like this is not possible with just me, like I need everybody on the team. And so I catch myself like doing stuff like that, like, oh yeah, like I got this idea from like Beyonce, you know. So
I guess that even just kind of gets into like what like this Cowboy Carter era and like what that means for like the podcast too, and just, you know, personally. And I think like that's kind of like what we say, going back to like what does it look like to be inspired by her. It's kind of just like embodying her habits and like her just how she carries herself in like everyday life. Like how you said, like what would Beyonce do? Or like what is like something that she said or like spoke to where she's like pushing to like get through the obstacle. And of course we don't know her personally, so we can't like say that, but it's just for interviews and things like that, it's like being mindful of like how to be the best at whatever you're working on, because that's really like that's like what we get from her. But anyway, I was saying that to say with the podcast too, I would love for people, for you guys to like watch this and listen to this and kind of be on this same like journey with us, like us looking up to Beyonce, of like how we should carry ourselves and how we should like move in life, but also like also being that resource to maybe other people as well who are like tuning in and listening and following us, because we're just 20-something-year-olds trying to figure this shit out.
I'm still 20, y'all.
I'm sure there's someone else out there that's on the same page, like trying to figure it out as well. And I feel like there's a lot of comfort in that, you know? So I would love to just be able to give that to other people, and also to just, you know, have this be a space where we can love Beyonce, talk about her, be fangirls, and then just talk about life.
Yes, because I feel like that's how conversations usually go. Like even with other people that I meet, and we both find out we love Beyonce. It's like, oh my gosh, did you see this? Did you see that? And then like the conversation just goes from there.
Yeah, it's like it's like an automatic like, okay, we click. Like we could be cool because you like Beyonce, I like Beyonce.
And it's because we see each other. I'm like, okay, and there are like character similarities, you know, because I'm like, I'm trying to like not name artists because I'm like, I don't want to bash other people like fandoms, But again, like sometimes when, or no, even like age group wise, because if someone's like, oh, I love, what's her name? Olivia Rodrigo. I'm like, oh, you must be really young, like 19, 20, and I don't know if we have much in common. I listened to a couple of her songs, and I think she's a cute little style. I just noticed whenever someone like their Olivia Rodrigo fan, they're just a lot younger or just a different generation than myself. So I'm like, we don't have as much in common. Not that we don't have things in common, but yeah, that's like just another example of like
that gives you like the impression of who they are.
Yeah, the impression of who the person is about Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell a lot. You can tell a lot about someone by their music taste for sure.
Oh yeah.
Some people kind of catch you off guard with it. Like, have you ever seen those videos on TikTok where they'll be like, "Oh, what are you listening to?" And then they'll tell you like, "Oh, like that you're a fan of that person."
What have you even noticed? I'm from the YG. I'm like, you live in Nebraska, like. What you know about YG?
Right. Not related to anything, but I went to a cycling class not too long ago, and the instructor was this like blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl. And so, the whole point of cycling is like you move to the music, so you be doing like the dips and stuff. And she called me off guard when she introduced herself, and she's like, "Today we're listening to YG and." Who was it? It was like YG and like Ty Dolla $ign or something like that. And that really surprised me. I was like, okay, I came to this class on a good day. And the class was actually very fun. But that told me a lot about her. I was like, I feel like she's the kind of white girl that has black friends.
Yeah. No, that's when you know, like, okay, they have black friends or they don't have black friends. Because depending on like, what they listen to. So that can be very telling. I feel like that's usually always right. It's like, oh, okay, I know where you be at. I know the restaurants you be at.
It gives you a sense. It definitely gives you a sense of things for sure. But then there's some artists, and even like Beyonce too, where they've gotten so big, like everybody listens to them. Like I think Janet Jackson was like one concert. Aside from Beyonce, it's like one concert I went to where it's like. Everybody was there, like so many different people. I remember because it was at the Hollywood Bowl and you kind of have to walk up to it, and it was people speaking like Russian. I'm like, they going to see Janet Jackson too? Like,
she's very like world known.
Yeah, she's a global.
Jackson,
she's definitely a global artist. She actually has a residency
right now
in Vegas too.
Oh. I see her. I never saw her in concert, but
yeah, she was on a good show for sure. She actually, now that I think about it, and we touch on it, but she did a tour, and now she's doing a residency.
See, oh my gosh, that's been the rumor that Beyonce her last stop is in Vegas, so people are thinking that she might have a residency in Vegas after this tour, and that's why she hasn't done many. She's not doing a lot of dates this time. And what do you think about that? You think she's going to do a residency?
I don't know. I would actually love that though, because I feel like residencies you can get a lot more like personal and stuff. I think her fan base would love that too. But I feel like after a tour, and then we are already kind of expecting like Act 3 to happen sometime soon, I don't really see it right now. Just because residencies are a lot. Like people could have residencies for like a whole year, and it's like weekly shows too. So it's like, so it's literally like you could have a show like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for like weeks at a time. So they do take a lot. Like when Usher had his residency, he had to move to Vegas and like live there for some time, like while he was doing it, and like have his kids there and stuff. So I'm like, it is a lot that goes with it. But I would not be mad at it.
I think I would try to go.
For sure.
I've never been to Vegas because of a show. It was only because a music festival. But not like someone's residency. Actually, this is my own conspiracy, and I haven't been to back it up. But I thought to myself, like, okay, if she does this, maybe she might drop Act 3 and then incorporate it. Because I'm like, wait, is she gonna like do another 2 years of like this Cowboy Carter and then drop another album and then go on tour again? I don't know. It surprised me that she went on tour again, like so soon after Renaissance. I'm like, you know what? I don't know this woman. She crazy. She just work. And it's so funny because she's always saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna ever work myself this hard again." Beyonce, you just been going. And then along the way, she's dropped Sacred, the perfumes, Sir Davis, all these other like side quests that she takes, and I'm just like, girl, like sit down, like it's okay. But I bet Blue. Oh no, it was so funny when she won Country Album of the Year, and she was shocked, and Blue's like, girl,
they talking about you.
She's so funny. For like, she's not gonna beat the manager allegations.
Right. I love seeing their interactions together because I feel like, especially with like, I think it was like a Lion King interview, and it was like, or not an interview, but just like behind the scenes of them working together. And Beyonce was saying something, and Blue was like rolling her eyes, like she really, because Beyonce has done so much to like keep her privacy and her personal life and stuff to herself, and I feel like Blue kind of like humanizes her a little bit for us because it's like, she's Beyonce to us, but to her, it's like, this is just my annoying ass mama.
Right. This is my mama who you want to know sometimes.
Yes, but I like seeing that dynamic. And
I like seeing my younger sister Rumi, and they said like she gives like Blue gives more Beyonce vibes, and then Rumi gives Solange, and I can kind of see it. She's so cute. Last time they were spotted was at the Super Bowl. And my Blue looks so much like Beyonce. I feel like as she gets older, she looks like Beyonce.
Yeah, especially when like looking back like Beyonce's younger days, you can really see.
I'm like, you are like a spinning image of your mom. That's like so beautiful. But it's who was it? Rumi seemed like she's not shy. Like she will talk back to like people like say stuff. Like she'll say something or like dance or whatever, and people are like, she gave me Solange vibes. Like she's not shy at all. Like reserved. Yeah. Blue's like a little bit more reserved, like Beyonce. So I was like, I can't wait to see that like dynamic. And also I think because even the age difference, like Beyonce and Solange are like about 5 years apart. And I think that's the age difference of Blue and Rumi. I just know Blue's whole life. I know my daughter's age, the birthday, everybody's birthdays. But yeah, do you feel like, or what like areas in your life do you feel like a Beyonce fan shows up? If that makes sense. Like being someone that is inspired by Beyonce, like where does that show up for you in your life?
Honestly, I feel like just to see what she has like accomplished and like just her like whole career and like everything that she's done, it just makes me feel like Beyonce makes me feel like there's nothing that I can't do. And I try to go into everything with that mindset. Like there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be things that are like hard, and I think sometimes it's like the things that take the most work and most like energy is like are, I guess, kind of like this podcast. Like it was easy when we first started to kind of like, well, I don't want to say it was easy, but we did kind of just like, oh, we should do this, and then we were like, let's do it. But the journey along the way is like figuring out like, oh, there's issues with like the audio, we need to figure that out. And it's like, you know, just the process of like going through things and like creating and stuff. I feel like when she like shows us that, like with Renaissance, it's like, okay, she does go through things. She does like face obstacles, or even just having to be like a mom outside of being an artist and stuff is hard. But it's like, we only get, which is why I feel like I keep going back and forth. I love when she shows us like that background experience, because we always see like the end result of everything that she does so perfectly. And so I love when when we seen like the Renaissance film or like other movies where like we got to see like the background of how things came together. It's like, I could do this too. Yeah. I just have to put in the work. I have to be firm on like what the vision is. I have to, you know, be consistent, be disciplined. It's like she embodies all of those things. If I embody those same things, like the end result can look like that too. Yeah,
I seem like you like maneuver through like challenges to get to that end result, or seeing like, oh, Beyonce can do that. And then even for someone like Beyonce to still have to go through that, I think she even mentioned in the Renaissance film, like, they're probably thinking like, this bitch will not give up. You know?
Yes, right.
Because she was like, so they don't have this kind of camera, and she's like, well, I looked it up, and it do exist.
Yeah.
So what y'all to? And I remember her saying like, or like that part where she like, I feel like they just will keep BSing me, like BSing you into your face or something like that. And then that's when she was like, oh, but then they realized like, oh, this bitch will not give up. So like, they need to come correct. And I feel like she will keep pushing that. I think even her mom would like sacred mention like every time they sent it back to Beyonce that like, she's like, no, it needs to be better. I know it could be better. And like push everyone to, you know, like make the best product and everything. So I feel like that's like something important to incorporate, like how you're mentioning like consistency, discipline. I just feel like consistency, like that's what I've just been like a pattern I've seen like with very successful people, brands, like whatever it is was just a consistency, getting a team behind you, and like just being intentional and things like that, which I feel like our podcast is now going that direction.
Yeah, for sure. So, like things take time. And things like when she said that they were working on that tour for 5 years, it showed. Gosh. And I think that was probably one of my biggest takeaway too. And even thinking like, like getting into the podcast, like we started a year ago, even though we took some time off, like I think I can already like see the growth and where we are now, just because we have been going into it with like a different mindset. But it's like also, you know, just being patient. Like Beyonce didn't happen overnight. Like she became who she was over years and years of like being consistent, showing up, doing the same thing. You know?
Because of the team she has behind her. Because I noticed like something people will say like, oh, we all have to sing 24 hours like Beyonce, which is true, but like she also has a whole team behind her as well. Like she's not doing everything. She's involved in everything, because I think that's just like, from what I'm not being like I know this woman personally, but just what I hear or like you know what she shows us is like she's involved in everything, but like she's only one person at the same time too. She can't be everywhere at once. So I think that team, building a team is really important too.
Yeah, for sure. Even in real life too, like just having a community around you that like wants the same things. You guys are working towards the same like goals in life. I feel like that just like pushes you so much more, because like you have those conversations and you're getting advice and thinking of things. It's like everyone's trying to get to the same place as far as like whether it's their career or whatever. So yeah, that goes a long way, that community, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm excited for y'all to see this new chapter, new season that we have for you guys, and just continue to grow with one another, create more community, a safe space for us to talk about our idol, our one of one, our Queen Bey, Beyoncé.
But no, and also just to like talk about life, life shit, and being young, trying to figure it out, living in LA. We're real California girls. And just, you know, what it looks like to be inspired by Beyonce.
Yes, this is it. But yeah, well, I can't wait to talk to you guys more.
Yes, and thank you guys for tuning in. You can listen to this podcast on streaming platforms wherever you listen to your podcast, and we'll also be on YouTube,
Instagram, TikTok,
at the BeyHive Podcast. Thank you guys. See you next time.
Bye.
That's what's up.